Hello everybody, welcome back for StarCraft. We have David versus Goliath. We have Bly versus Clem, which is kind of funny because Bly is probably at least one head, if not two heads, taller than Clement. Bly is already sending out a little drone surprise towards a potential third base from Clem. Usually this is a fourth base location. And I was not joking with that intro. Clem is probably the best foreign Terran right now. And Bly is Bly. Bly's a very good player. But he's not been to BlizzCon. That's all I'll say. Not been at a World Finals. I know it's a little crazy, but it is what it is. So let's see what kind of tricks Bly has up his sleeve to try and get an edge onto the Terran player over here. And we have Clem, whomst, I mean, probably is going to be trying to play standard, but cautious. But not too cautious, because then you might fall behind. Because I think it's a fair assumption to make that Clem's mechanics will shine through in the end every time. We see an SCV scout going out before the Reaper even. The Respect coming out. Clem here. Overlord does see the SCV go across the map. We have two gases and a Roach Warren already being created, so this is going to be a Roach, and I would assume Ravager Rush. Two Lings being created to harass this CC. Going to probably see a Queen, or just a buildup of 3 larvae. No Queen at all, it just doesn't have the money actually, so no Queen. How is he going to deal with the Reaper that might come across the map? Reaper actually does not go across the map, which I usually think that's a good thing, because defending the Reaper at home without any units is super annoying. And you usually lose like 1 or 2 drones, which is pretty big if you have only 10 drones mining. Every drone, 10% of your economy. 2 Lings are in the natural here, trying to take care of this Marine. The Reaper does help with that, and the bunker is gonna go up. The Roaches are underway. And a secondary bunker even being created. Clem is ready for this. Only if you expand now, you might have a chance here. Oh, the Roach comes into range here. 2 Marines and a Reaper. 2 Ravagers are here. This Roach has already taken quite a bit of damage. It's being targeted down. The Cocoon is being created. That has a lot of armor. It's still being targeted down, and even the Cocoon can't survive the onslaught of these 3 Marines and 1 Reaper. More Ravagers being created here. Let's zoom out a little. And we have 5 SCVs. The Corrosive Biles try to hit these SCVs. I think you need 1 or 2 Biles? I think it's 1 Bile kills an SCV. I know it kills other workers, but, you know, these SCV boys have a little bit more health. But I think a Corrosive Bile does more damage than an SCV has health. The Cyclone boy comes out as well, and now Bly's going for the bust, targeting down the bunker, throws down all the Corrosive Biles, even gets a couple of SCV kills there. Microne back, the low health units, and this is a bust for now. The low ground being evacuated here. Overlord coming over to give a little bit of vision. Roach tanking the damage from the Cyclone. Cyclone wants to target down that Ravager. Ooh, 1 Ravager does fall. That is not pretty. You kind of want to keep all of your Ravagers alive. No Queen here for some transfuses or creep spread onto the natural. Because I think the only reasonable follow-up here, since, I mean, you could go for Ling Speed and a bust. That is something you could do. Just get up to 100 gas, start Ling Speed, put everything on minerals, rally Zerglings over here, and just go for a bust. Just wait for Clem to come down the ramp and then overwhelm him with like 20 plus Zerglings. Or like 30 plus. But Clem is super aware. He sees the natural. He knows that there is no follow-up here. I mean, there could be drones on this base out here, but there are none. It's just pure Ravager Roach. And 3 Cyclones are here to stop Bly from doing anything. Gets a bunch of Biles onto the bunker, but it is being repaired. And Bly's still stuck on 16 workers here. More Ravagers coming in. One has very low HP. You don't want a Cyclone to get a lock on that. Oh, even the Marine and a Cyclone finish off that one Ravager. So one less Ravager here. We do get a Supply Depot kill. We can get another Supply Depot kill. And that will supply block Clem here for a little bit. Is making 2 more. Siege tank underway. We have 2 Marines and a Siege tank being created. And there's no starport. So that is kind of nice for Bly, honestly. He's now starting up the Zergling speed. Has not pulled off gas just yet. So he's going to be making more Ravagers even. It's like, if you once you have enough Ravagers to bust down any type of building in the front, going into the Zerglings from 2 hatch is kind of neat. It works versus Protoss at least. Now Bly is retreating. Perhaps hoping for Clem to overextend here. This game, 6 minutes in, both players do not have a natural base. Too bad that Bly didn't clear up his natural base. So Clem doesn't feel the heat. He doesn't feel that breath in his neck. Telling him that Bly is ahead. You are behind in a Bly game. Lots of Zerglings go out here. And the SCV now sees slow links. Still gas being mined. And he knows there is no natural. So if you're Clem, you know that this is as all in as it gets. Still 16 workers, a secondary bunker being added on. Tank production. This Overlord is quite cheeky. He's going to give vision of this back tank. I don't know if we have enough Ravagers here. It's 12 Ravagers with 1 more underway. I mean, you need about 6 biles per tank? 5 or 6? I think 5. Oh my god, Bly goes in. I wasn't expecting him to go in like that. Just goes into the choke point, gets slammed down by 3 tanks, but does get the lift on the CC. Goes into the right side, trying to get a better angle. Doesn't get the kill on the tank. Clem just defends against Bly's continuous all-in play there. Bly pulling the trigger when maybe perhaps he could have either waited for Clem to overstep or transform it into some type of a macro game. Although that is quite tough. Clem taking game number 1. And we're here for game number 2. Clem and Bly facing off on both youth. Post-youth. Damn. Which is a bit of a weird map. Look at that. You have an in-base natural, which is kind of a hybrid base, only 6 patches. Double gas, though. And there's this little mineral wall on a ramp, so you have to, like, completely wall off this ramp if you don't want anybody to get inside of your base. Or do some kind of ridiculous low-ground wall, which is almost impossible. So somebody's gonna get in. Bly goes for another. Oh my god. Of course, he goes for another proxy hatch onto the potential third base of Clem. And if you send out a drone, I presume it goes through the middle. Or a SCV. So he's going to completely miss that. And is Bly just going to do the same thing again? Is he going to go for the gas, the pool, another gas, the roach warren? I think you go for pool ASAP if you do that, though. So maybe this is something different? We'll see. Clem going for the in-base expansion. And sending out his Reaper as well. This SCV is going across the map. I mean, he is going to know that there is no natural expansion. A drone is being sent out by Bly. And it's going the long way around. Where is it going? Oh. It goes past the SCV. It's going towards his hatchery, I presume. So is he looking at a spine rush over here? Secondary gas is being created here, but it might just be a fake. That he's going speed. No, it's not. He's going for the roaches. Where is that drone? The drone's over here. What the hell is this drone doing? Does he want to mine this out? Is that it? He just wants to mine this one out. And then send it back and forth. Now he needs to keep this drone alive for a long time until the roaches are finally there. He does have a free angle into the base with this Roach Ravager, which, I mean, that seems good, but also he doesn't have a natural to deny. So Clem does keep his additional income. Nice cancel and rebuild by Bly. Lightning fast over there. Another drone being created. Now we have a queen. I love that. Look at that. So this is a proxy hatch, but it's a different one. We have a queen at the front now, keeping this Reaper back. Is he going to try and mine this out? 20 minerals is a lot. Can a Ravager not fit through there? That is what I'm thinking. Spore comes out. Almost have 50. Oh, that extractor finished up. Now we have a creep tumor coming out. Oh no, is that going to get cancelled? Oh, of course it is. Clem Reapers. Now Roach comes out. Immediately want to rebuild that. Now the drone comes out. This is 20 minerals. I don't know if he ever gets this. These should be Ravagers. If he wants to cover this, the Roaches, can they move up? Or is this a drone gap? Only Lings and drones can go through. Oh my lord. Okay, so Bly has a crazy idea, but I don't know if he's ever going to be able to mine those out. We do finally have the creep coming out. But Clem has 3 workers on the gold minerals already. No in-base hatch for Bly, but he's making drones. Look at that, oversaturating this base. I'm guessing that queen was over there to check for that SCV. Oh, Cyclone almost gets the secondary tumor here. The second tumor. I don't know why I always say secondary. First Cyclone already out here. Now a Cyclone is coming up. We see more Ravagers. Bly even mining from this base in front of Clem's base. I love it. No starport once again. So Bly kind of looking at what Clem did game 1 and now changing up his proxy hatchery strategy to kind of abuse that a little bit more. Too bad that he couldn't mine out those minerals and couldn't get through his roaches. Does get his natural expansion up now. Gets a little damage onto that supply depot. Almost has enough Ravagers to start killing that. Supply depot does go down. I wish I could remember how much damage a corrosion pile does. Like, I know you need 6 or 7 for a pylon, about 5 for a siege tank, so I think it does 40 damage, because it doesn't kill an SCV. Barely doesn't kill a marine, apparently. Oh. But I don't quite remember. Oh, 60 damage. Okay. That's what I thought. That's a lot. 60 damage. So if we do the math, that's 3 biles for a siege tank. Oh, that's good. It's also 3 for a war prism, if I remember. But Clem just has the Iron Dome set up. He's ready to defend. Oh, the Reaper. Oh, it gets out. Going towards the base of Bly. And the jig is up. Double upgrades for the Roaches is coming out. And he sees that Bly is even mining from his base. Now, this is a great game of StarCraft 2. Look at that. Do you feel the tension? This Reaper comes into the natural, sees that it's mining, and now Clem knows that he's actually behind in economy because Bly has an extra base. And he's stuck in his main base. So, he feels like he needs to escape. He needs to get out. Gasping for air as the creep is slowly ascending and not allowing him to breathe. Third command center for Clem underway. No upgrades for Clem, and there are upgrades for Bly. And it's really hard to get down this ramp with all these Ravager Biles being thrown down, slowly leapfrogging his way out of his own main base. I love this position. What an adaptation by Bly. Now, what I don't want to see is that he overcommits into this choke point again. Into, like, 4 siege tanks again. That would be disgusting. But we have Roach Speed coming. 1-1 underway for the Roaches. And I could see... Oh, what the hell? Oh, we have more gold minerals coming in for Bly. getting another base. This Reaper being an annoying asshole. Clem Reaper, after all. Finally does go down, and Clem gets all the scouting that he needs. Probably clicked on a roach and sees that 1-1 is already done. And Clem halfway towards stim. Halfway towards combat shields. He does have a third base, but no upgrades whatsoever. Oh, this is a lot of units from Clem, though. I feel like you either fight right now or you fight way later if you are Bly. Because now you have the advantage of 1-1. You have roach speed, but he doesn't have stim and combat shields just yet. But well, you can see that he doesn't have combat shields. You know there are no medevacs. Time is kind of your friend right now, Bly. Look at the creep spread on the map as well. More creep spread on your opponent's side of the map than on your own side. One of the beautiful things of proxy hatching. Terrans hate it. Oh, a couple tank shots do go very well onto the army of Bly. Kind of gets choked up here next to his old hatchery that is now dead. Creep tomb being replaced, and Clem immediately re-expanding, getting that third base up, putting Bly on a timer now, and that's a lot of burrowed roaches. If he can get on top of all of these tanks without being scanned, the game just ends. But look at how many tanks. We have 8 tanks, and this siege tank line is so deep that I need to double zoom out. Oh, all the roaches. Oh my god, all the roaches. Split them out well, and he unburrows on top of the siege tanks, gets 2 right away. Couple more on the high ground. Bly's army's getting shelled down. He does have 1-1, and a lot of the Marines do go down. The siege tank count has been lowered to 4 tanks only. 1 extra one is coming out, and the third base is not down. Burrow roaches getting their HP back super rapidly. The scan does not reveal the roaches. This would be a juicy unburrow on top of all of the Marines of Clem. And wow, the Marine count's so low. Bly, he smells blood in the water. Takes down even more tanks. Only 3 tanks, one of them even unsieged. But all the Ravagers getting targeted down by the siege tanks on the high ground. Nice targeting there by Clem. More Marines trickling out of these tech labbed and reactored up barracks. And we even see Liberators being added on. Already enough medevacs, says Clem. Or he wants to get some counter pressure on this map. It's still a good amount of roaches here. This third base still not down for Clem. His main base already halfway mined out. Another SCV gets picked off. This is a decent clump of Marines. 2-2 has not been started by Bly. And 1-1 is finished for Clem now. So actually, the trading for Clem is going to be pretty nice. Ooh, doesn't get the block, and now immediately saturates the minerals here. You have a turret as well. Bly pushes his way into the army of Clem. But 1-1 is done. These Marines are now pretty tanky. They have combat shields, they have medevacs, and they have stim. So they have teeth now. They are dangerous. And with the siege tank count slowly crawling back up, we have 5 siege tanks now. I feel like the time of the roaches passed, and time of man has come. Kind of the reverse of Lord of the Rings. Bly does have a pretty big income advantage in the minerals, I would say, but Clem actually has the income advantage because of all the mules. His main base is basically done. His natural base is starting to mine out. He's getting another command center. He's feeling the heat. But he still has a pocket of air. Clem can survive. Look at this fortified location from the Terran player. Building a factory in front. I like that. Choking up the attack path even more. Take down the rocks. Make it easier for you to get up your whole army there. 2-2 now underway for Bly. No 2-2 for Clem just yet. The armory did just finish up and making the path towards a mineral path really long. But that's cool. +2 did start. We have 4 infestors underway. If we get a couple good fungals onto this clump, we could see some devastating corrosive bile fungal combos. But I mean, these are just too many tanks. Look at this Roach Force tries to go into the back there. Could snipe a couple SCVs. The double drop in the corner of the map. Clem finally gets to cleaning up some of the creep. Bly is aware of the double drop. He's ready. So my mana's on 5 bases right now versus a 2-base Terran. Well, the roaches roll on up to this tank, but this turret makes sure... Oh! And Burrow, couple... 7 SCVs actually die. Most of them to friendly fire from the tanks. Nice job. Oh, nice fungal! Corrosive Biles gets one of the medevacs. And Bly, he's maxed versus Clem, who barely has a mining base. Dude, it's getting hot in here. Clem now looking for a 4th base, and Bly identifying that if he denies this 4th base for long enough, he's going to be in a very comfortable position now, going for Hive and a Spire. Looks to be a Broodlord rush. Oh, kind of a choke point here, but does take down almost all of the siege tanks. Actually misses one of the corrosive biles, but gets a lot of fungals onto the Marines, and this position still cannot be taken by the Terran player. We see a turret coming out, so this roach, oof, boom. Another siege tank goes down with like, oh, there are roaches in that base as well. These rocks, and these, whoa, there's a lot of rocks on this map, actually. Didn't quite realize. 4 Liberators. And you need to step into siege range to deal with that. Clem getting up this 4th base. And now everything starts to get a little dicey. Clem gets to have this base. Mine from it. Mine it out. Drop the Mule Hammer. He might be able to get to a max. He has 2-2. Ghosts are coming. He might get 3-3. Couple SCVs did die. 80 drones versus 50 SCVs plus mules. We do see the Greater Spire coming out. The Broodlords would be amazing here. If he gets up to like 8 broods now, that's good. But ghosts are on the menu. 2 ghosts already out. Another one being brought out. 3-3 is being researched by Clem here. We have some Zerglings here. Baneling Nest underway. +3 Carapace. And Bly, he can go back and forth between the bases of Clem. A lot of Lings strolling on in. Siege tanks doing more damage to the SCVs than the Lings themselves. 11 SCVs gone down. 24 overall this game. Only 2 have been lost, but we have lost about, let's say, almost 100 Roaches plus Ravagers this game. And probably some inefficient trading by Bly, but he has so much more money. Do have another small medevac drop here. No Corruptors out yet on the map for... Oh, we do have them, actually. Never mind. So we could see the Broodlords coming out, the GG Lords, as they were called back in the day. I mean, we have Infestors on the map, no? We do. 3 of them. Freedom Fangs. Oh, kill the Marines. Oh, no, he can't. There's actually some bio coming out. What? Clem, how dare you? I'm impressed that he's ballsy enough to do that. Going out without his whole tank Liberator force. And now we have the Broodlords coming out. 8 broods. 4 more Corruptors underway. But what is Bly going to do with that? He usually battering rams in with them, which is a good idea here. But we see Vikings coming out already. Clem. He saw the broods. Did he see... No, he did not see the hive. We see an Ultralisk Den coming. I like that a lot. So he has a follow-up here. We don't have Adrenal Glands just yet. No Baneling Speed either. So he's looking at just a big Ultra Swell. We do see Baneling Nest or Baneling Speed now. +1 air attack. We have the broods. Bly is sitting back here. Clem has had this 4th base for quite a bit. He's crawling his way back in here. He is basically maxed. Has a decent SCV count and a big army. And his army is entrenched on his side of the map. We see some spines and spores coming out. I like that a lot. Bly still knows that this Terran is on 4 bases and it's 17 minutes in. So there is no way that he can remax efficiently. Or at all. The Broodlords are now here. 2 Thors being created. We have a good amount of ghosts. 9 ghosts with 6 Vikings. But I do like that we have about 5 spore crawlers here. Making sure that we have detection and that we have anti-air. Ooh, we do see a couple snipes coming out. 2 queens and a broodlord do bite to dust. Or bite the dust? I don't know. This is when you want a cheeky 12 baneling run by into pushing with your broodlords. Oh, but the snipes coming out. Oh, fungal. Nice, decent fungal, but it's not enough to catch all of the ghosts. Need a buff, Blizzard. Or a balance council. Oh, broodlings do go down. Siege tank doesn't get a shot off. That's why broodlords are so good against the siege tanks. All of that friendly fire. We do have a decent amount of baneling ling here in the back. But it's hard to force anything. Is he going to attack his own changelings? Do it. Oh, he does use them for vision. Does snipe 1 marine there. Very nice. A lot of broodlings now. There is an infestor there. Gets a nice fungal. Would be nice to have a changeling on the Zolnaga. It's such a weird place to have a Zolnaga tower, but now, like, the air defenses for Clem are overwhelming. He has 8 Vikings, which is just enough, I think, to maybe 1 or 2 shot a broodlord with their maximum range. We have a couple Thors, which broodlords are allergic to Thors. We did the tests, and they are indeed allergic. Oh, the snipes go down, the broodlings come in, and no fungal. I think only 1 broodlord died there. And we still have 9 broodlords. 3 have died so far this game. Spore Crawler. Make sure that these Vikings can't get any further, but Clem is kind of threatening the 5th base here. I don't think we have adrenal glands just yet. No, we do not. So these links, no adrenal, but they do have 2-2. Or 2 attack and 3 carapace, actually. Why? Oh, this feels so bad. I feel like it's slipping away. Big EMP onto all of the infestors. Oh, there's 1 more here. Another broodlord goes down. But this is such a difficult position now. How do you engage this Terran army? You want to squeeze him out of the map like a cobra. But you can't quite do that, and now the ground army is fighting. Clem's army was the broodlords have to run away from the Vikings. What an engagement from Clem. That clutch EMP, and the broodlords now get cleaned up by the Vikings. 8 ultralisks underway. But ultralisks are also countered by ghosts, because of course all of our tier 3 units had to be countered by 1 little dude with a sniper gun. I guess he can also call down nukes, but, you know, they don't really ever do that. Is there a CC floating over? Yep, there is 1 CC floating over towards a 5th base for Clem. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the 5th. And, I mean, this is now just a StarCraft game where, I mean, you are Bly against Clem. And Clem has enough money. He has a lot of ghosts. He has tanks with +2 smothered around his bases. He even has a couple Thors for good measure. Now we do have, oh, a couple Corruptors here. Are going to do some caustic spray action onto this fusion core and on top of the starport. Making sure that the Liberator production is stifled. The Ultralisk getting stuck behind the Ravagers. Classic occurrence. But we do get a shutdown onto that 5th base from Bly. He just threw his whole army into this death pit. But he did cancel Clem's gold base. The 4th base is still up and running. The 3rd base does nothing. The secondary base does nothing. Or natural base. The main base does nothing. That's Fusion Core somehow still alive. And Clem now doing a little bit of an offensive move, knowing that the entire army of Bly just died. 6 more ultras underway. But you're going up against 19 ghosts, my dude. 19 ghosts. That is a non-zero amount of ghosts. That is a... I roll my face across the keyboard and make sure to hit the rapid fire key a couple times and I kill your whole army amount of ghosts. I know that's a mouthful, but 19 ghosts is a lot. 20th ghost underway. The last graduate of the class. +3 attack for his vehicles is coming up for Clem as well. What do you do here, Clem? Like, Bly, what? Doesn't have any more supply. He's just set on making only Ultralisks Ling Bane. But how do you engage this army anymore? How do you engage Clem? He's just slowly but surely encroaching onto the map. He has this sensor tower grid all across the map, so he can see any move you make. He's methodically cleared out your creep, and you didn't mine out the side bases yet, so going into this late game / super late game, you're actually not that favored, I feel like. Like, if Bly had mined out this base, or even this base, going into a split map scenario would actually slightly favor him, because he mined a little bit of the third base, and then he would mine at least one of the contested bases. The bases that... Is that mine or is that yours? Depends on how you split the map. Do you split it down the middle, like horizontally or vertically, or do you just mirror the map? How do you split it? And Clem going full spirit mode here, activating the Soul Killer protocol and building an immense amount of SC or command centers. How many orbitals? We have 6 orbitals right now. 2 more command centers, 2 PFs, and 1 more underway. The ghosts are actually okay versus light units. They just pew them down. I think they even do bonus damage versus light units. So ghosts versus a low amount of Zerglings, not even that bad. Adrenal glands finally coming up. As you can see, Clem, like a very slow snake, just like a giant sandworm. No, sandworms are kind of fast if you've seen Dune. But like, no. Just a basilisk inside of a time warp. Slowly but surely making his way across the map and infesting, or not quite infesting, I guess purifying the map of all of the Zerg that he comes across. It's kind of like that campaign map where you have to stop the Zerg from infesting those villages. You get the Vikings, and you just make Medic Marine anyways, and you go effing kill them. Base by base. Bly commits into this deep siege line of Clem. No creep to help him. I don't think that he even has the Ultralisk speed upgrade. No, he does not have the Ultralisk speed upgrade. And we've seen a game before of Bly where he forgets that upgrade. So chasing this bio off of creep without all of your speed upgrades is rather rough. You don't always need it if you get the fungals, of course, but Bly, losing 2 of his front bases that he didn't mine out yet, does still have some of the top bases where he can transfer his drones towards, but he has 53 drones, and he's trying to max out. He's trying to max out of 53 drones, versus Clem, who's actually just banking up right now. He's taken the entire right side, except for 1, which is now being purified, cleansed off the map. And 25 minutes in, a game that started with a hatchery at Clem's third base with a contain that lasted for an eternity. Post-youth confirmed, because after this game they were both significantly older. And now it is Clem who is pushing and kind of choking out Bly on the map. I'm not stuck here with you. You are stuck here with me. Is what Clem is communicating here. We see this one ghost looking for a juicy EMP. Might have gotten one over there. We only have 1 fungal boy, 1 infestor. Did just lose all of his energy to a well-placed EMP from Clem, and now it's just getting the snipes onto the Ultralisks. 3 Ultralisks just explode. That is almost 2,000 resources, by the way. Just evaporated into thin air. Another snipe goes down. Boom, another Ultralisk. So that's 4 Ultralisks without Bly being able to do anything about it. 5 Ultralisks just being annihilated. Ghosts. Good unit. Now we do get a fungal onto a couple of them. The Banelings try to get on top of the Ghost. Not enough. Another nice choke up area used by Clem there, and whoa. Bly has to capitulate 27 minutes into the game, where he honestly strategically completely outplayed Clem, and then just slowly but surely he couldn't hold on. It slipped out of his hands. Feels bad, man. And now it's Clem who's actually up 2-0 in this best of 5. And Bly has a very, very long road ahead of him as the David in this story. And we're here for game number 3 on LCO, and a map I feel like that is always present in a Bly series. And in true Bly fashion, we have a drone making his way across the map and going to be taking his opponent gold base, question mark. That would be interesting. Now, before everything kicks off, be sure to like and subscribe. It does help me out a ton. My journey and dream to become an actual commentator that goes to an event once in a while. Bly going for 3 proxy hatches in this series. I wonder if he just has 5 proxy hatch builds planned for this entire best of 5. Honestly, if we get that far and it's 5 proxy hatches, I would just be so delighted. This is one of those series that would reinvigorate me to pick them back up, you know? Because I used to run proxy hatch a lot as at least a 1 build in a series, at least. Because I felt like it just gave you so much control strategically, because, you know, mechanically, I wasn't the best player. It's hard to be the best mechanical player. You have to play a lot and be very disciplined. And practice a lot. And that's hard, especially if you're, like, going to university, for example. But if you do a proxy hatch, that just matters less. Like, you can't tell me that Bly could not have won that second game versus arguably one of the best mechanical Terrans out there right now. Because I think he could have won that second game. And after looking back, he can probably make adjustments, making him win that game in the future. Oh, Reaper finds out that there is indeed... Oh, wow. Oh, yeah. Okay, the Reaper can actually get across here. I knew it could do over there, but... Oh, the drone! Get the minerals! He got the minerals. Okay, drone, you've done your job. I can make roaches now and send them across. I feel like if he was going to do this and not mine, why not put it over there, you know? Because then... Clem doesn't find it by going here. But maybe Bly has a follow-up plan. He needs these golden minerals. Maybe it feels like spreading creep from here is better. Queen keeps the Reaper away. The roaches are underway again. Bly. I've said it before, I think on a previous cast, where he's the type of person that will do, or will say that I'm either going to win 3-0 or lose 3-0, because I'm going to 12 pull this guy 3 times in a row, and it's either going to work or it isn't. And he's kind of doing that in this series where he, again, is going for a 1 base 5 drones on gas, mind you, Ravager build. And this time around, Clem seems Omega ready. This Cyclone is so early. And now, 2 bunkers once again. So Clem is prepared to fall back to his main base if the Ravager Roach count somehow overwhelms him. Almost gets the kill onto the Reaper. Oh, nice bait back, pull back from Clem. Bly does get a decent amount of vision here with that Overlord. More roaches coming in. We have a little creep threat coming in and some drones on the gold. So just a little bit of extra minerals now being able to... Oh, Bly already has a lot of workers on his main base. So doing more of a game 2 approach here. And is starting to drone up. Is getting his natural once again. Oh, that's a lot of SCVs not mining. Look at that. What is that? 8 SCVs are not mining. These 8 SCVs are on top of this bunker full time. This is their job now. Hold hands, hold the bunker. It's kind of like one of those cars at a show where everybody has to put their hand on the car, and the last one to pull off their hand wins the car. That's that, but with the bunker. The last one to pull off his hand is not executed. This is the Terran Dominion. You know, that is how they roll. Because, I mean, the Terran that we play on the ladder, there's no way that's like Raynor's Hyperion ragtag group of Terran units, right? It's 100% the Dominion army that we play on the ladder. So, you know, if you play Terran, you are kind of playing with the fascist regime. I think about that a lot. Well, the creep spread is getting pretty far, but look at Clem. He still has his natural and didn't break a sweat. Lots of Marines ready and Cyclones as well. And as the Zerg right now, you are in kind of a difficult position, because if you see this many Marines, if any bio upgrades come out, if there is a starport and he moves out, Ravagers can't stop this force from killing you. So you need a lot of like Zergling or Roaches. But you don't want to make those before he moves out. But if you make none of them, then you just don't have enough units, especially if you are making use of that gold base. I wouldn't be surprised to see Bly take the other gold base as well. And again, Bly probably slightly ahead in the income here because of that gold. He is floating 1,000 minerals just for flex. You know, it's just flexing. We're getting 1-1-ups again, so Bly is like... That last game was good. That last game is... Like I said, he could have won that. If I make some adjustments, I can win. But Clem making his own adjustments, not giving up the natural at all. And that is kind of the mind games that come into play. I've played tournament games where the Terran just gives up his natural right away. Because the first time you proxy hatch them, even if it's not them, but like some other Terran in the pool, and you commit for the bust, that feels bad for the Terran. They don't like that. So some Terrans just lift it up and they're like, nope, I'm not even going to try and defend. And that's when, if you only made like 4 Ravagers and then start making drones, oh, you're so ahead. But that's the mind games. You don't know how hard the Terran is going to commit to the defense, and the Terran doesn't know how hard you are going to commit to the Ravager busting. And if you're going to get Zergling speed behind it, and you like go for an all-in flood, or are you going to make drones behind it? And I feel like Bly had a good draw in game number 2, a pretty bad one in game number 1, and now a tough one in game number 3. Again, Clem is just expanding way earlier than he did last game, I feel like, and he just has way more stuff. Look at all of these siege tanks coming out of his base. Doesn't have like a 2x2 choke point in front of his base that he had on post-youth. Oh, Queen's actually getting taken down here. And Bly is expanding. Takes another base. Is mining out his side path as well. And now this I like a little bit more, because if Bly mines out this gold a little bit, then a late game scenario and super late game scenario. Yeah, we don't talk about super late game anymore. That's not... It's not how it works. You know, semantics are important. And super clearly means bigger, better, later, greater than. Whereas supreme is kind of less correct, I feel like. So I feel like the phase after the late game should be called the super late game, which is before the end game. Oh my god, how many siege tanks do we have? 7 siege tanks. And I love these Mexican standoffs. But I'm very afraid of Bly, because one big stim in, and you A-move into him, and then he pulls back, and you get into the siege tanks, because you think they're over here, but they're like 2 hexes in front. Suddenly you get a big volley of siege tank shots into your Ling Roach Ravager, and that diminishes your force so much for free that you're almost supposed to fight then, because as the Zerg, you kind of have like a tax you have to pay to be allowed to fight. To engage a Terran, you have to like move into them. You have to walk that yeah, you have to walk forward, where the Terran already has range on you, but you can't hit them yet because you have low range or even melee units. And that like little pathway, or like that amount that you have to walk into your opponent, that's the tax you pay. It's kind of like a stim. You take, let's say, 5% of HP on all of your units, or at least the front units just basically die. Oh! The roaches get into the scan. Little panic there from Bly. Burrowing again, and then unburrowing again. Does get a siege tank kill, but a lot of roaches here get cleaned up by Clem. And look at the supply of Clem. He is so rich. And this is basically game 2, where Clem is allowed to move out of his base, and the contain doesn't work. Bly loses his forward base a little bit earlier. Does have the secondary gold base, which I feel like he should have taken as a third base. But, I mean, it's difficult. Because if Clem goes for, like, an all-in to bust, then both of those bases are just way closer to Clem's bases, and then it's harder to defend them, and then maybe it's worth it for Clem to just kill those bases and go back to his natural and take a third. And then it's not all-in anymore. Whereas if you just have your natural on third base, and then Clem all-ins you from 2 bases, cleans up this gold base, and then goes to this third base, you might be able to, like, take a good fight, and he feels forced to still go and cancel another base, because he's 2 base versus 3. Bly is a little behind on supply, has a lot of Lingbane and some Ravagers here. He's going into a hive, so perhaps he's just saving up money here for a very fast Ultralisk switch, or he wants to have... Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I also think he just doesn't want to waste gas right now, because he needs Infestors, upgrades, Ultralisks. But he doesn't have the Larva. Do have some Baneling landmines here. Glad we caught those. And the creep spread on the map, honestly, quite insane. Like, if you are not convinced yet that a proxy hatch strategy can give you an advantage, there it is. Like, you make the game wacky. Oh, the Baneling's doing it. Oh, that was a nice hit. That was juicy. Oh, well done, Mr. Bly. Oh, the mantle damage. You lose Marines, and you lose your sanity. And Clem holding up Spirit style once more. The ghosts are already underway, and Clem is just... I mean... this is telling me is that Clem believes that his read on the late game and super late game is just better than that of Bly, and he believes that Bly can never win versus him in that scenario. And I mean, the previous game did kind of tell us that. That going into the late game and even super late game approaching that, Bly kind of faltered. Oh, he's moving off creep, trying to deny this 5th base, but he doesn't have creep anymore. He can't move here. This is an illegal move, basically, because he loses his entire army here for not even a deny onto this 5th base. We do have another attack, so this was only half his army. Joke's on you, Clem. And he moves in, gets a nice fungal onto the bio as well. Gets 20 SCVs onto the 3rd base. That was a nice move by Bly. And Clem now, his supply is down by quite a bit. I wonder if he killed any, like, ghosts or something. He killed 1 ghost and 6 siege tanks in total. So he did kill some expensive units. A PF is now out on the map. I love this building so much. It's so funny that if I do a Zergling run by, the building itself holds it off. It's great. I love it. It's sarcastic. I think it's dumb. I'm okay if they got like a bunker upgrade, right? If you could put Marines inside the planetary or a Marauder or something to man the gun, right? Like, it could still be an AoE gun, like a PF, but they needed a man to work it, just like the turret. That would be more okay. Because if they just have like 2 reinforced bunkers here on a normal command center, that feels more fair. Because then, okay, I can bust the bunkers, maybe use my Ravagers, like... Oh! That's a nice donation there to Mr. Clem. 7 Ultralisks already on the map. Let's look at the upgrades here. We don't have Ultralisk armor and we don't have Ultralisk speed. Ultralisk armor is underway. So giving them 2 additional armor upgrades on top of +3 that is about to finish. And Clem is already on 3-3. And honestly, Bly doing an okay job here of containing Clem in the end. Clem did not take this bottom base for a long time. This gold base has been mined out a little bit. 1 patch is already gone. But I would like Bly to take this bottom base, take this top base, and mine those out. Like, Clem is basically playing mech right now. You are the mobile one as Bly. He's playing afraid of you. He's never moving into you. He's so immobile. He has 13 siege tanks. He's making spirit levels of command centers. And just taking all of the outer bases, knowing that, yeah, they're probably going to go down, but I have burrow, I can run away my drones. All of the scans going down. Clem sees that, yes, Bly is just taking his bases. Bly has a lot of money as well. Ling, Baneling, Ultralisk, not a lot of Lings, and Infestors rain down upon this 5th base, and now they do get 2 siege tanks here on top of the 4th base, do get juicy shots, and even though this is a pretty inefficient use of his army, he does take down the 5th base, goes for another run. We see the EMPs going down onto the Infestors, and the Ultralisks get sniped down. Oh, nice burrow attempt with the Banelings, but the scan does come out. And how many ghosts? 20 ghosts. 3 more coming out of the academy. They've expanded their classes. The program has got an additional funding because the Dominion government saw the potential. They've been tested in the field and further subsidies have been approved. Or, I don't know how you say that. I'm not a financial guy. Their budget has been enlarged. Look at this, dude. Just orbitals, more CCs. I do like these Lings up there. Could become Banes, and now Bly finally taking that base. Could take the bottom one as well. I like this Ling, giving us vision. This is not insignificant vision. Look at that. Just the whole path. Kind of like a side trap from Templar Assassin in Dotes. If you're into that type of thing, of course. Changeling walks on in, tries to get a little bit of scouting information, gets shut down right away. Oh, and Bly moves on into the 3rd base once again. Lots of Banes, Ultralisks, and Fungals in the back. Oh, decent choke. Because of these minerals, these Ultralisks don't know what they're doing, and now the cloak is out. I don't see an Overseer here. I do see 1 Fungal going down, but that's not enough. And, oh my god, the ghosts. But also, oh my god, the Ultralisks. If you just have more Ultralisks than there is energy on ghosts, you can actually do a lot of work. But Clem, identifying that Bly is somebody that likes to make 9 Ultralisks at a time if he already has 5. Like, I literally have a thumbnail that says so many Ultralisks, or mass Ultralisks or something. Because this guy, this Blyman, yeah, he just makes Ultralisks. Just more than you think are good. Because ghosts are good. But he just makes more. And it's like, well, you have 8 snipes, but I have 25 Ultralisks. Oh, the Lynx do get into the 5th base. Tanks do some friendly fire as well. We do have Adrenal Glands. We do have Ultralisk speed as well. And, I mean, I kind of thought that Bly was going to die. Because his start did not look as good as game number 2. But Clem is just so passive. Clem is just refusing to move to the other side of the map. He hasn't been past, like... I guess his incursion into this top base was the furthest he has moved out. Oh, and look at the choke point that the CC is providing. Ultralisks are pretty fast, though. Oh, they get stuck a little bit because of these minerals. The Banelings, they need to get on top of the ghosts. And they can't. These units are trying to move past. The Banelings finally getting on top of a couple of them. But all of the ghosts survive, and now the snipes are going to go down. Pew, 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 pew. And a bunch of the Ultralisks do go down. Oh my god, they're red. Not a lot of energy on the ghost, but enough to kill all of them as long as they keep running. Find a new choke point. Rapid fire up. Look at the Ultralisks just derping around, the most derpy unit in the game. And they try to, like, kill what they can, but the ghosts get the snipes. Third base has been taken down, though. The Zerglings take down the fifth base as well. 18 ghosts on the map. Oh my god, 18 corruptors are being created. Is he just going to make broodlords now? Dude, Bly is going for that Zerg. He's just going from the one tier 3 unit into the other one. He's going up against Mass Ghost. And he's making how many corruptors? 18 corruptors. I don't know if he's overstepped a little bit with that. Maybe he wants to use it to, like, kill PFs without losing a lot? I don't know. He is moving out his Corruptor Clump. I like that. Snipe a couple of these Liberators. He gets the first one. Oh, didn't move in far enough to get the second one, but at least he doesn't lose any of his Corruptors. Now look at that. 5 Vikings on their way from Clem right away. It's like, you have Corruptors? The only good way for you to spend them is Broodlords. But Bly doesn't have a lot of cash to spend right now on Broodlords. His bottom base, he is trying to retake it. And he does have this top base that he could saturate a little further. He has 83 drones, but might have a little too few on gas. Like, I'm looking around, and he has minerals, but he doesn't have drones on those minerals. And he wants minerals. He could make a shitload of infestors, though. Infestors are actually kind of okay versus mass ghosts. If you just spread them out, don't hotkey all of them, and just shift-click them into fungal random areas, and just slowly, kind of like Siege Tank, pushing up. Like leapfrogging, you can leapfrog with pre-cast fungals if you just have 20 infestors. It sounds a little ridiculous, but I mean, it could happen. 5 more Ultralisks coming out. I mean, he needs another hit. He hasn't made Ultralisks in a couple minutes, so more Ultralisks coming out in another late game slobber knocker between Clem and Bly. Clem now mining out the rest of this gold base that Bly has already painted a little bit. The drone goes for the burrow. This siege tank location is actually sick. It's so hard to take it for the Zerg. So this map almost naturally gets split down the middle because of this. Which means that this base is very important for Bly to mine out. This gold base and this bottom base were the most important for Bly to take early to get a better super late game position. Now, he did mine out a little bit of the gold. He has mined out a slight amount of the bottom base. I don't know if that is enough because he has been trading more inefficient. So if this game goes on the same way it has been, it might be bleak for Bly, but I mean, anything can happen since both players are maxed, and one big fight does mean that the losing player loses a lot of resources. And yeah, just these armies are so expensive that they're almost impossible to replace in the super late. And I mean, I'll just say it because I feel like I've been using them interchangeably. Late game is when both players are maxed and they're trading off their units to get better units. And super late is when you are vying over the last couple bases with your super expensive armies that are hard to replace. You cannot infinitely replace them. And you have pretty much researched all of your upgrades, which has happened in this game. Almost all the upgrades are done. We are looking at bases more than we are at unit compositions, because both players have already built their perfect army. Sauron is happy. It is worthy of Mordor. Which I'm glad I can put a couple Lord of the Rings references in here. how bad they might end up being. Doesn't matter. Oh, look at this siege tank, dude. This is crazy. These types of things you learn about this map only when you go into the super late. It's like, oh, actually, this base is so hard to take as Zerg, or versus Terran, rather, that I would rather make sure that this bottom base is already mined out if I want to have that one base advantage, which if you have one base more and they have one base less because of that, because it is a zero-sum game, base-wise, that means you are up 2 bases effectively. And that offsets a lot of inefficient trading. But now Clem actually gets to do the opposite. He gets to take this base, but Bly did mine out quite a bit of it. Now Bly gets to take this top base. I mean, I'm very pessimistic when it comes to Zerg late game, because I feel like Terran just has kind of an easier time making the map just incredibly annoying with all of the ghosts, turret, liberators, widow mines. Haven't even seen those. I guess the new patch kind of ruins that. They still become invisible, I think, with the armory, so... Or with drilling claws. I don't know, it's still worth it. Widow mines are really good. But just Liberator, Ghost, Widow Mine, and like static defense is just so crazy. Luckily for us, there will be a moment in time where Bly's most efficient use of his resources will be to make about 8 to 10 swarm hosts. Because the stalemate is so entrenched, both players would rather not move out anymore, that the free unit of the Locust becomes amazing. Because their range is just crazy. So if they even kill like a turret, or like damage a planetary fortress, anything that costs gas basically, it's just great. Little run by here from Bly does take down this PF. I would say it's costly. Building armor really showing themselves there. Or that upgrade is really showing up. The Liberators making sure that this top base is hard to retain for the Zerg. So if you play this map on the ladder as Zerg versus Terran, or as Protoss versus Terran, I guess, put an emphasis on the bottom side of the map. It's just, yeah, easier, I would say. Maybe as Protoss you can kind of like use Blinkstalkers and stuff to defend, but going up into a high ground to defend your own base, ugh. Like, look at, you have to control this space, basically, which is another base, which is very close to another high ground near their natural base, which makes this very hard. Like, positionally, oh my god, what the 18 Broodlords! I go off on one little tangent, and this man decides to make 18 broods. Please don't clump up all of your infestors and get EMP'd. For the love of God, the Overmind, Kerrigan in all of her sexy forms, and posterity. And StarCraft 3. Broodlords trying to get some kills. Oh my god, there's just so many ghosts. 20 more ghosts here. Infestors are looking for the fungal. Oh my god, so many Broodlords. They are dying, though. We have 5 Broodlords that have already died here. That means we probably have 13 remaining. Yes, we do. The Infestors still have energy, making this very scary. Look at the pre-fire EMPs, hoping that Bly moves into them. The Banelings are coming in. We see an EMP. It hits on all of the Infestors. One more Infestor is over here. Gets a fungal onto the Ghost, but is it enough? We still have a lot of Broodlords here. Oh my god, so much Zerg coming in. The Zerglings and the Broodlings do give that swarmy, Zergy feel, as we all love, but in the end, no detection again. These ghosts cloak up and run into these tier 3 units, and not enough defenses for the Broodlords remain. Bly tries to overwhelm this Terran position with 18 broods for a base that isn't mining again. I would have honestly preferred him to do this at the bottom again, but he needed to defend this top base. It makes sense. And now he has 5k minerals in the bank, but his gas is a little low. He still has this one geyser over there that he's now trying to fill up with workers. This one is dead. This one is empty. He has 500 gas with like 2,000 gas. He's like not even 3k gas remaining on his bases, and he needs to mine it first. So basically, he's very low on gas. Only 3. I would put 4 on each just in case one of them is slightly misplaced. Just to get that little bit of efficiency. That like 5% more gas mining at this point. I mean, lucky for him, that means he can't make more Ultralisks and get them sniped. Okay, I'm just gonna put a still here of the game. Guys, thank you all for watching. Oh my god, Bly called GG. He was completely mined out. We went into the super late, and I mean, Bly was just forced to go into an endgame scenario where he literally couldn't replace his army anymore. But Clem still had enough of a bank. He had enough of the map, and that is a definition that I like of how you play StarCraft. You try to force your opponent to go through the phases of StarCraft slower at the start and then faster at the end. Which is kind of, you know, you want to force or get into a mid-game and late-game position yourself earlier, because that means you have more units, you have more of the map. But then the end game basically stipulates that you have no money and only one kind of efficient army remaining. Whereas in the super late, you have a lot of money. But your army is also super expensive. So you can only remax it a couple times, but that does mean you can. So if you are in kind of a super late game situation where you have 6k in the bank and a super efficient army versus the Zerg player that actually doesn't have a lot of money remaining, you are in a very good spot. So yeah, another tangent. Guys, thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed this David versus Goliath story in StarCraft 2. Sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Cheers.